let it go.
I know. You have to move it out. Then it's like hold down button.
Very instructions.
All right, so everyone has a piece of paper and a pen out, yeah? No? Someone say no? All right, so we're going to spend first brainstorming. Right here on this side, I always spelled this wrong. It's actually anybody want to help me out? EVAL, medieval period. And then over here, I'm going to put Ren. That stands for Renaissance period. All right, in both of these sections, I want you to write in this circle what characterizes the Renaissance, how you would define the Renaissance, and in here, what would characterize the medieval period.
She has a doctorate.
So what if somebody came up to you and was like, "Hey, what's the Renaissance?" What would you tell them? Or, "Hey, what's the medieval period?" What would you tell them? That's what you should be putting in these two circles. All right, what do we have? Colton, what do we have?
For which one?
Either one.
Renaissance, I put humanism.
Humanism, yes. And define humanism really fast.
Where people became more focused on like the individual rather than God.
Good. There's a focus towards the individual. Pronounce your name one more time. Lila. Lila, give me one. Lila. Either one.
For Renaissance, like, focus on the arts.
Arts. Either Caleb. Actually, one from each Caleb. Medieval or Renaissance.
I had, it's kind of like community, but I see like people changing their religion, like because of the plague and stuff, and, like not wanting like back and like people change religion because they lost faith.
So can I clarify what you're saying? Are you saying that like here they were more religious than here?
Yeah.
So you would characterize the medieval period by religion. What religion, to be specific? All right, what else? Yeah.
For the medieval time period, feudalism.
Feudalism, good. Sean, do you have one? For either period.
In the medieval period, there was no technological development because, like, whenever someone had an answer or had a question about how something worked, the church would just tell them.
Yeah, can we use like primitive technology? I know that's kind of a general term, but shorter. Yeah. Lauren.
Yeah.
Yes.
For the Renaissance, you put education was
Education. And somebody talked about individualism. All right. So now, next I want you to brainstorm. what got us from this period to this period? What happened that had this period, which is defined as feudalist, primitive in technology, religion, to this idea of humanism, a focus on the individual, education, arts, the Renaissance man. So I want to brainstorm what got us from here to here. All right, what do we got? Let's hear from this back section. Yeah.
The Black Plague, people started to live life better, so like with more money.
Good. All right, what else? Daisy, you got one?
Like kind of overall corruption in the church and stuff.
Can you be more
like,
specific?
I don't know. I guess there was just like problems like, in the church.
Problems in the church. Are you referencing the like Reformation and Martin Luther and stuff like that? All right. What else? Yeah, Lauren.
Like more people with more money.
More people with more money.
The
The rich citizens. And okay, this is a good question. What made the citizens rich? I'm not sure we went over that. Can you remind me of your name?
Anthony?
Anthony, do you have any idea, and you're going to have to infer something, what made certain citizens rich?
Like when they were smarter, had more of an education, they could get like more well-paying jobs, and had more money.
How did they get that better education?
Like
No, go ahead. Sorry. Either one of you.
So when like people in the Black Plague, when they died, the other person can just take their land.
So again, back to the Black Plague, but there was one thing you learned previously in other lectures where there was a huge movement of people in Europe moving towards Constantinople and the Middle East area. Well, for a certain reason. Do you remember the reason? Crusades. Now, why would the Crusades, why would that make the citizens rich? Any ideas? Yeah, Colton and then Nick.
When they like invade a town, they steal their stuff.
So yes. Right there.
Yeah, and adding to that, while they're traveling, they're also trying to make a living.
Right. So instead of this, yeah, go ahead.
They're also discovering new information and finding artifacts from the past.
Brilliant. All three of those. So we touched on three different things. So we went from this place of feudalism where everything, my whole world was in maybe our little neighborhood, to moving to a city, especially in Italy, of city-states, where it was a centralized government. You guys talked about nation-states. Nation-states. Once you have a nation-state, you can establish trade with other nation-states, and you can become rich by having this trading system. So that's one way we got rich citizens. Nick, can you remind me of yours? You started establishing a life, right?
Yeah.
Right. So Nick brought up that you started moving away, and that also goes into the idea of nation states. Remind me of your name, Ileana, right? Ileana. So Ileana brought up something great. You want to repeat it one more time?
That when people were moving and invading, they were discovering new things and started studying the past.
Right. So what in specifically did they discover, do you think?
They discovered about the Romans and Greeks and started learning about their past.
Yes!
That they didn't
Brilliant!
worship just one God,
they started discovering antiquity. We learned this word yesterday. Can someone remind me what it means? Addison, can you remind me what it means? I'll give you a clue. Antique.
Like older stuff, like more like, I mean, I don't know exactly.
Okay, let's hear from Nick.
People were looking at the past, and they were looking at how the Greeks and the Romans lived.
Yes, so the classics. So you were right, old stuff. I think we would consider stuff from the Renaissance antiquity. But they started discovering, as Ileana said, the old stuff, the classics, and they started having an affinity towards it. All right, so we can see that there's not one cause for this transformation, right? The Renaissance period was from 1400s to 1600s around. And they didn't wake up in the 1400s. Dalton didn't wake up and was like, hey, I deem this period the Renaissance. No, it was over a period of time they developed a change in thought. And that is the rebirth. So Renaissance means literally rebirth. That is the rebirth of what Ileana brought up, antiquity. Okay, so this all started, why I felt like we needed to go over this again, is because I was looking at your guys' what you learned. Do you remember yesterday I posed the question, what did you learn? Yeah, do you guys remember that? And I got numerous answers. Let's see. I got numerous answers. Alright, there we go. Such as this. You guys can't see that. Whoa. Let's just screen that. Alright. So I got, what did you learn today? I learned that the Medici family was good. I learned that the Renaissance was good. Another thing I got was the Black Plague caused the Renaissance. The rise of the Medici family caused the Renaissance. Let's start with this one. Why would saying the Black Plague caused the Renaissance be wrong? Daisy.
Because there was a lot of factors that played into everyone's thinking.
Yes. So how could we revise this answer so that it would be more correct? Yeah, right there. Can you remind me of your name one more time?
Lauren.
Lauren.
The Black Plague was one of the causes of the Renaissance.
Yes. Acknowledging that there was more than one cause. All right. Can someone tell me why this is wrong? The blank was good. Nick.
It's subjective.
It's subjective. What is good? Can you define good, Harrison?
Something that's beneficial to someone else.
Yeah, but how is something that's beneficial to me, is it beneficial to you? No, not always. And we'll see that through the work of Machiavelli. You know, what he would consider good, what the Republic of Florence would consider good, the Medici family would not consider good. So saying something was good is all relative to the person you're talking about. So how could we change this to say, let's use the Renaissance. The Renaissance, yeah, Lauren.
The Renaissance was an important time that helped shape how we are today.
Right, it impacted who we are today. It had a significant, and the only thing I asked to add to that is why. But we're going to go into that more today. Does that make sense?